All right, so I know I'm late. All right, I'm just gonna get that out the way. Can we just ignore that? I got to do reviews for Ghost of Yote and Death Stranding on top of this. They did announce all the nominees for the Game Awards, so I thought there was no time like the present for me to go ahead and do a review for the games that I basically missed out on reviewing. Y'all liked this format last time. I figured we go ahead and try it again. I do want to tell y'all though, I've played Metal Gear 3, the original. I think I told y'all 3 times, and now I've played the remake. So my review may be a little bit different based off the reality that I've played the game basically 4 times. But should you buy this game? Let's find out. No, they both coming. They both coming.
Stop! What a thrill.
So, you're using Naked Snake. Now, if you've played the franchise before, there are other clones of Snake. There are several other clones, but this is the prequel, which means it's probably a good place to start if you do want to get into the series. It is the early 60s. He is a high-tier, high-class CIA operative. They sent him in there to do all kind of secret jobs on some James Bond shit or whatever, and he really works silently, okay? So he is dropped behind enemy lines in Soviet territory. They have a scientist that they're forcing to make nuclear weapons, and his job is to save the scientist, get them out of there, extract them so that the nuclear weapons are not made. Now, of course, shit sounds simple, but then he ends up running into some problems. In fact, his mentor, she defects from the US to the Soviets, and she joins a group of super soldiers. I'm just going to tell y'all, one of the guy's powers, he has electricity flowing all through his body.
Admit it! We're after the location of the legacy! The secret fund established by the 3 great powers during the 2 world wars. That's what you're looking for, isn't it? $100 billion, divided up and hidden all over the world. And you're looking for a record of where all that money is hidden, right?
And then, so I think there's, 5 of those guys? I don't know the exact number, but during your journey, you're going to have to take that whole unit down one by one, as well as face your mentor. And that's basically how the story starts. That's kind of how the beginning of the game starts. You will be then dropped back behind the enemy lines to start the next part of your mission.
Got you this time.
What a thrill.
The original game is from 2004. It is 2025. That is over 20 years. We expect, if you're doing a remake, for the graphics to be substantially improved. And they are. Now, I'll say, if you look at PS2 games, if you had a PS2, see, we didn't know at the time, but if you go and look now, a lot of games have a bluish, brownish, or green tint to them. Metal Gear, if I remember, had more of a greenish tint to it. So this remake, it looks so much better in terms of color, obviously, foliage and all that. And like I said, this is what we expect. They had their own engine that Konami was using on the original one. This one is on Unreal Engine 5 for all the nerds. You take from that whatever you will. One of the things they were able to do though, is like bruises and like leeches and like any like body damage will show up on Snake in a way that it could not show up on the original, which is a good thing. A lot of people like to be immersed. They like to see stuff like that. If you pay attention to detail and things like that, that may be a plus for you. The only thing I'll say, I know we're talking graphics. I just don't know audio wise. I don't know if they changed the audio or improved the audio in any way. It's been so long since I played the original game that I could not tell you. I will say one thing that you got to kind of look out for when you have remakes, but they use old audio in the game. Sometimes it looks a little funny with the graphics and the faces. So that's something that may be up to you. It's not something that bothered me, but I do have to put that out there. But I do think the game looks good. It ain't no goddamn Hellblade 2 or some shit like that.
Where'd you get this one?
I got it after defecting to the Soviet Union.
I don't think so. It's older than that. Code breaking is a desk job. Where'd you get this kind of scar?
You really want to know? Well, too bad. What a thrill.
I have to say this. Two things. Number one, I decided to challenge myself like a dumbass, and I played this game. No alerts, no kills, extreme difficulty. So everything I'm going to tell you going forward, keep that in mind. That may not be your experience if you play this bitch on normal because you're a normal person and not an idiot like myself. Look at his health. Look at his health. Look at his health! This game has got to be kidding me! You gotta be kidding! And this may disappoint some people. This game is only a graphical and a control scheme upgrade. Mechanically, it is the same exact game. I'm not gonna let anybody gaslight me and tell me it's not. It is. Still incredibly wonky. Sometimes when you're crawling around, you can't quite control him the way you want in third person. You may be crawling in the grass to try to sneak by enemies. You may crawl in a way where your feet sticks out of the grass and they see you. Now you got to restart the checkpoint or some shit, or now you're in alert phase. That's a little bit rough. The remedy for that is to go into first person mode. It's a lot easier to control him that way because you can go from first and third person, which is a good thing. But other than that, the CQC, close quarters combat, you can sneak up behind people. You can hold them up and make them tell you. I may repeat some of this stuff later, but you can make them tell you stuff. They may tell you the locations of stuff. They may give you intel on the map to show where other soldiers are. They may complete the map layout for you. They may drop items and ammo for you, things like that. But it is a little wonky. When I was trying to choke some people out, I was accidentally letting them go. Things like that. Sounds like a skill issue. Sound like you should eat a dick. How about that? I'm sorry, that was toxic. Anyway, so let's talk a little bit about the stealth. So for me, I never played anything like the first Metal Gear at the time. I came from platformers, sports games, fighting games, RPGs. Stealth was something that I never experienced. So when I first played that, seeing the AI, noticed that I had footprints in the snow, and I'm sneaking around everywhere. And we're used to playing games where you can just go in, guns blazing, just knock everybody down on going about your business. I could not do that on Metal Gear, which was good. So it gave me a whole nother experience that I really enjoy. And that actually is what turned me on to stealth being one of my favorite genres. Why are you? It's over. I'm in a bad spot here because dude about to wake up. Guys! What are here?
No one here after all.
I'm done. He's about to wake up any second now. Yep. Oh shit. Oh.
Come in, HQ.
This is HQ.
Patrol here. The enemy is attacking from...
Yo, what a play! Now, I'm always disappointed in the game industry because with all the leaps in technology and all the advancements in hardware and possible mechanics, they basically, stealth is in Arrested Development, bro. They've not looked to try to improve it. And I've made a million arguments as to why stealth is worse now than it was 30 years ago, 20 years ago. It doesn't make any sense. stealth is typically an afterthought. So with some exception, with Hitman, can't say Splinter Cell anymore. It's been 11 years and 2 generations. Metal Gear, we can say it now because this is the first game since 2015. But I always looked at Metal Gear and Hitman and Splinter Cell and Dishonored and a couple other games as they set the bar for stealth. But even still, because it's been so long, I would expect that this far along there'd be even more better AI and even more mechanics and cooler things to do with stealth in the industry as a whole, and there's just not. You look at a lot of the Ubisoft games, even when we talked about Mafia, the stealth in there is not very bright. I'm not expecting genius level AI, but I am expecting the industry to do better with stealth and not treat it always as an afterthought, especially if the game is primarily stealth focused, which there's not very many of. So with all that being said, the mechanics on here, the stealth on here is still the bar. It's not perfect, but it is still very good. They have not changed or improved anything because it's virtually the same exact game with newer controls and better graphics, which is a lot of people's selling point, but some people are not going to give a shit. So let's talk about how the stealth works. Like any other game, you go there. Now, they're quite generous with the checkpoints. I do have to say that. Okay, you won't get caught or die and have to go back 40 minutes in your gameplay or anything like that. Each stealth section has its own checkpoint. So once you enter a section and it has a loading screen, once you get to the next part, you have now got a free autosave. So for me, because I was playing on no alert, no kills, if I happen to get caught, I can just reload my save. Boom, I'm right back where I was 5 minutes ago, 2 minutes ago. So not very much progress lost, but it was quite frustrating because playing on extreme, they have laser beam eyes. Laser beam eyes. You can only take 2 to 3 shots before you're dead. So that you really can't afford to get caught. Can't outgun everybody. So you're committed to the stealth shit 100%. Now, each section has a set number of guards, like any other game. Some of them are patrolling, some of them are standing still, some of them are doing random stuff like peeing or sleeping, whatever it is. And the guards are a little bit in sync with each other, as they should be. So, I didn't have the luxury of, for example, on the bridge section, shooting a guard and throwing him off the bridge. I was on no kills. So I had to make sure everybody was hidden. And there's also no upgrades for knockouts or kills. So you really want to kind of just only take out the people that are in your way and let everybody else go because you have to conserve your ammo as well. I'll get to weapons in here in a minute. So let's say there's 7 guards in the area, 3 stationary, 4 moving around. I have to figure out, and this was the fun of it, how to take out each guard without the other one being seen non-lethally. And you have limited time to do that. If you do a close quarters combat, sneak up, choke out, they stay choked out. It's not very long. Versus if you shoot them with your non-lethal suppressed weapon, they stay down a little bit longer. But either one of these guys wake up and they will instantly notify the other guards, and you will enter the caution phase, which they'll start moving around in random looking for you, and other guards from other areas may come to help. If they see you, damn it, you're in the alert phase, which means there's a whole, but you're gonna get shot all in your ass. I can never survive the alert phase on extreme because you can take a couple shots, you're done. Now, how do you get through the stealth sections with the in-game mechanics? Number one, there's all kinds of camos that you can find all over the place. Okay, the camos, you want to change your clothes depending on the terrain you're in. If I'm crawling in the grass, you want to put on camo that's better to blend in with the grass. The game does give you a meter, percentage to tell you how stealth you are. So it tells you, let's say you're 80% stealthy. That's pretty good. That means the guards, they're going to have a hard time seeing you if you're crawling unless they get very close. And if you're kind of out in the open, they're still going to take an extra second to see you. So you want to change your face paint and your camo depending on the terrain you're in. If you're crawling in grass, you want to wear certain stuff. If you're kind of shimmying on a ledge, like a dirt ledge or hillside, you want to put on something that works better. The game will help you dictate what to put on. They also have a shortcut for you to change your face paint and your camo depending on what's going on. But that is a very big deal. Also, there's cool stuff, alligator heads that you can use that lets you swim in the water without the enemies being able to see you. You can, you can throw food to distract them. You can throw Playboy magazines. You can throw bad food and they'll eat it and get sick and have to go to the bathroom. There's so much shit that you could do in this game to get past. It's really cool. And then you have what everybody has seen, the box. The box wasn't that helpful for me on extreme difficulty, boy. Every time I got in that goddamn box, they see me, they came to lift that bitch up, shot me in the ass, and it was over with. But the box is one of the signature things about the game. No! Leave me be in the box! No! Fuck! No! To this day, I beat it 4 times, and there's still about 20 or 30 things that I did not know that you could do in the game. These things pop up on my feed on IG, TikTok, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, damn, I didn't even know you could do that. You can throw snakes at enemies, and all kinds of stuff. You have beehives that you can shoot to scatter them, and all kinds of things. But the AI, typically, they are reactive. They do have a brain, but every once in a while, I do see a clip of people just being able to have high percentage camo and just crawl right past them, and the enemy's like, huh? Who was that? Who's there? Guess it was nothing, but it wasn't like that for me. I played on extreme. Let's talk weapons. Now, you're gonna have so many things that you can use at your disposal. I'm gonna tell you this though. If you plan on playing this game and you really want the most out of it, you may want to look up the hidden equipment and weapons and camos and stuff, because they're gonna help you. Some stuff that you can find super early in the game, you really pay off later, and you have one shot to find these items, and if you miss it, you do not get it. So you may want to consider getting those things. Now, you could go back, you could walk all the way back 30, 40 minutes and get the shit, but I'm not doing that. Especially because some sections start to be closed off. But you want to get those items. And when we talk boss fights here, I've already disclosed that one of the guys can control electricity, so I'm not going to tell you the powers of some of the other people, but every boss is unique, and there are items in the game to help you beat each one of them. I will tell you one more. There's a guy that you can fight. You can throw food, spoiled food down. He'll eat it, and then he'll kind of like be stunned for a minute. You can shoot him. There's things like that. The game's not going to tell you this. The game's not going to tell you other stuff either. I'll cover some of that a little bit later. All the boss fights, you have to approach each of them a different way. I chose a non-lethal route. I think I failed to mention, you knock out a boss non-lethally, you get a special item. It could be a camo, it could be a weapon. There's a unsuppressed non-lethal sniper that you can get that may be something you want. They drop cool camos. One of the guys drops a camo where if you wear it, his faction soldiers won't shoot at you. Things like that, which is why I chose to play it the way I played it. So do keep all that in mind. There's a photo mode for all you nerds who care about photo mode. We get cool screenshots and stuff like that. So that is also a thing. I think for the most part. Oh, lastly, almost forgot this. Healing. All right, you get hurt in this game, and you have to heal yourself. If you're crawling in a river, leeches will bite you, and you have to burn them off with a cigar in the menus. You get shot, you get burnt. You have to heal all these things with ointments and all type of shit. So it's definitely some survival, and you have to eat. I don't know if I mentioned that. You have found wild animals all in the game. Frogs, snakes, all kinds of shit. They all have varying levels of taste. Some of them are poisoned. You eat them, you get poisoned. You have to heal it. If you do not eat, your stamina goes down. Your stomach starts growling. The enemy hears your stomach growling, they're going to know you're there. If you're doing CQC, which is still incredibly wonky, when you're crouching and sneaking up behind somebody to grab them, make sure you cover your mouth. There's a mouth covering mechanic to cover your breath so they don't hear it. Now, this could be a long one and could go on forever, but we're not. I'm just going to give y'all a handful of the stuff that I wish I knew really early when I first played the game. Your suppressors are limited. You only have so many shots with a suppressed weapon before it runs out. So make sure you keep an eye on your suppressed weapons. Because if you don't, you're going to accidentally shoot that gun and it's going to make all kind of noise. You're going to be in some shit. You can find additional suppressors through enemy drops or scattered around the map. So make sure you do search around for that kind of stuff because it will help you. Also, if you're already in a fight that is a boss fight or something like that, you don't need a suppressor unless you're hiding. Okay, so you can detach and reattach your suppressor at will. So do keep that in mind. Also, you can hold up enemies, so you can choke them out. And like I said, they can give you information, and they can also drop items for you. You're gonna find that you can easily run out of items that you need. So if you choke them out and you make them tell you stuff, or you come up behind them and hold them with your gun and say freeze, you can make them give you stuff that you can need. You can refill. Do that early, and that way you can keep better inventory than I did when I played the game. Also, knocking on surfaces. You can lean up against a wall or a thing, and you can knock on it. That'll draw enemies over, and then you can reposition yourself or draw them out away from the other ones, which is going to be your best bet. I'm telling you, when you get to the stealth sections, that you're going to need to start dividing and conquering, because some of those ways that those guys are positioned is going to make it damn near impossible to take both out unless you attract one to a new area. Couple items that I really want y'all to look for that'll help you really early is the night vision goggles, the thermal goggles, and the cigarette spray. I want y'all to look for those 3 items. Look up a YouTube video and find those. They're all valuable. One of those is extremely valuable for a boss fight, because if you don't have it, you're going to make it infinitely harder to actually fight that boss. If you have those, it turns the boss fight into a cakewalk. A lot of the stuff and little tips, tricks, and cheese will turn shit into a cakewalk. Some of it won't be, but a lot of it will be. Also, there's something that I did not know you could do. There's going to be a time where you actually get captured. You're going to be in a prison cell with no weapons or anything. I didn't know you could spin Snake around over and over and over and over again until he throws up, and then the guard will come in and investigate, and you can use that as an opportunity to get out. That's one of the many ways you can get out. Make sure you use your radio frequencies to save your game. There's even one that lets you heal for a time or give you more stamina. So that's one thing. Stamina upgrades. I don't know if I mentioned this. I may have. But if you're climbing across stuff and your stamina gauge starts going down because you're hanging from a ledge, if you decide to do some pull-ups, the game doesn't tell you this, but if you do 100 of them or something like that, it'll give you more stamina permanently. So do consider that. I mentioned food earlier. You can use the spoiled food. You can throw it as a distraction. You can throw it to see if the enemies will eat it. So make sure you do use that. There will be a fly symbol on the food if it's spoiled. Do not eat it. It'll make you sick. Just throw it, get rid of it, drop it, whatever. One of the bosses that you're going to fight is a bird. Shoot it. He's using that bird to find your location. Shoot the bird. You can shoot it non-lethally if you want it. You can eat the bird if you want. You can do whatever you want, but shoot that goddamn bird and use your thermal goggles that I mentioned to find where it is. Glow caps. Glow caps are how you recharge your battery. Your night vision goggles, your thermal goggles, and some of the other stuff that I mentioned, you need battery to use it. Mushroom caps are batteries. They're little plants that glow. You eat them. Also, keep a couple of those handy to fight the guy with electricity. Throw them on the ground. That's all I'm going to tell you. Lastly, I mentioned this earlier. Make sure you get the croc cap. Put it on your head. Makes you look like an alligator where you're swimming and enemies will not see you. There's other little stuff, but I think that's just a few things. We don't want to be here too long. The gameplay section was really super long, so I want to kind of keep this a little bit brief. But that's it for the things that I wish I knew.
Get your hands off me.
What a thrill.
I've always loved the story on this. I mean, I don't really replay games much, and I've played this game now 4 times for a reason, because I think it's a great game. I love the quality of life updates. It really needed them. Being able to quick select your new camos, the new control schemes, and all those things like that. Obviously, the visuals are a lot better. So I mean, overall, it's just a good remake. It's not the best remake. I've seen better examples of remakes with brand new mechanics, brand new graphics, updated audio, and all that kind of stuff. This doesn't have all of those, but it has a good amount for me. But I'm like a Metal Gear head, so if you're not, you might not feel the same way. But you know, no matter how many times I see the story, there's always little stuff that I catch about it, especially with some of the cutscenes. Yeah, there's even like little silly stuff. I love the Easter eggs, bro. Like there's a scene that I never even noticed where Eva is like mocking Ocelot's little like movement, but you have to catch it real fast after you look in your binoculars after their little cutscene is over. Just like little stuff like that. Being able to constantly find new things about the game. Now, I'm not gonna play it again though. But, you know, that's basically what I like. Overall, I like the game. It's just basically a better version of the original game.
What a thrill.
Man, I gotta say it, bros. Dislikes. Stay off Reddit. Reddit is just this toxically positive, bro, and you can't even say anything about the game on there. I seen a guy on there. He had a legitimate, like, he just wanted to have some discourse. Some people are making the argument that this game is they feel like it's a $70 texture pack, and they blame them for feeling that way. I'm like, I'm not going to make an argument for or against it being a $70 texture pack, but it's definitely an argument that can be made for that, because it is quality of life improvements with the menus and the, you know, like the UI and all that kind of stuff. But mechanically, it's almost 1-to-1. Story, audio, everything else is the same. You're virtually playing a more beautiful version of the same game. For a lot of people, that's enough. I bought the damn game. I got excited when they revealed the shit. But for some people, that's just not enough to warrant a full price purchase. But here we are months and months later. I can't imagine that the game is still $70, which is why that's not a argument that you have to worry about too much. But the controls are as clunky as they were back then. You know, I have a lot of criticisms about the old PS2 games nowadays because like some of the cameras are really bad. This game doesn't have a horrible camera, but the clunkiness of the PS2 feel is quite literally still there. I mean, that's kind of it. Some people will not like the pacing of some of the Metal Gear games, and I'm just going to warn you, it's not really a dislike for me, but I know it's going to be a dislike for some people, especially at the beginning of the game. They give you a cool intro, they get you on the ground level, you get started, 5-minute radio call. Then they get you all started again. You start moving around again. 5-minute radio call. The game does open up after that, but you do have to prepare yourself, especially on Metal Gear 4, for some of these long cutscenes that may or may not break the immersion for you. For me, I have the cutscenes are really so well made that I don't know how long they are because they seem to go by faster because I'm engaged in them. But for some people, it might not. But yeah, overall, man, like, people are like, well, is this a Game of the Year nominee? Fuck no. I'm going to say this right now. I'm never changing my... Let me not say that. I don't plan on changing my stance on this. Remakes, DLC, to me, and remasters are not... I will never think it's fair for those games to be nominated. There's not enough risk-taking for me. For you to take something that was already popular and update it. Right? There's not a risk there. You knew this was a hit before, so it's likely going to be a hit again, especially with all these new gamers and new ways for people to access these games because PC's so big. So I just don't think it's fair when you have that and you have all these great games like Expedition 33 and you have great sequels. While they're not a new idea, there's still a lot of risk involved in reboots and stuff like that. Think God of War 2018, which we never expected to get, or even on the multiplayer side with the first Overwatch, like that one game of the year, and I think it deserved it. But remakes and remasters and DLC, I don't think that's fair. That's just me though. I'm not saying somebody needs to agree with me. So this should not be nominated for Game of the Year. I will never be on board with something like that. What I was pushing for and hope for is one day they have a category called Best Remake, Remaster, or Reboot or something like that. That way these games can be awarded for what they did, and I feel like they can be nominated for other categories, just not Game of the Year. I don't think that's fair.
If you're looking for Sokolov, he's not here anymore. Put that thing away.
What a thrill.
I'm gonna say this for the last time. Metal Gear Solid 3 is one of my favorite games of all time. It's my favorite Metal Gear game. Metal Gear as a franchise is one of my favorite franchises of all time. We have to be objective and fair. The game is not $70, but it had a $70 tag at launch. Is the game worth $70? No. But it's $50 now. Is the game worth $50? Let's figure that out. Now, if you have high standards for remakes, which means you expect visual, possibly audio, mechanical, and modern control schemes all improved, which we've seen from some remakes. We've seen some games come in and the whole shit is like super updated and all that. All right, if you have that kind of bar, wait for a further price drop. Because this game does not meet all those expectations. They had quality of life improvements and visual. Little to no mechanical improvements, bro. Don't let nobody gaslight you. Don't let nobody on Reddit lie, because they be on there. There's some objective people, but they be on there. They be glazing, bro. I'm gonna be real with y'all. So, do you buy the game at 30 or do you buy it at 50? The value of the game in itself for the 15 hours is amazing. You have a fantastic time. You'll be completely immersed. Completely. It's an amazing game. I'm speaking on in terms of remakes and price tags. It depends on your expectations. This is a game at the very least that you should consider putting in your backlog and playing. It's just play it at your price point. If you like stealth games, if you love stealth games, if you like Metal Gear, and if you really want something that's more of a stealth challenge, you should play this. If you're looking for kind of a cool narrative on an older game, this might be one of your games as well. I love it, but this ain't no $70 game. I don't give a damn what nobody's talking about. So anyway, let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Did you like Metal Gear Solid Delta? Is it one of your game of the years? I was speaking about the game of the year awards, not personal. From your personal game of the year, sure. But did you like it? Did you play it? And let me know what you thought of this review. I will holla at y'all on the next one because I got to do 2 more. Bye.